So less than 24 hours after I submitted the final edited manuscript for my book, I found out I was pregnant, which was a huge shock to me. I'd never known if I could have a child, and so that news kind of threw me into a new direction that I had not anticipated happening. I mentioned my son is 16 months old now. He's a little tornado. He on the plane right over here, he could not understand why I wasn't just letting him run up and down the aisle the whole time. Like, what is wrong with you? Let me be free. His new favorite phrase to say is, and he says it very passionately, is, "Oh no." And he does not know yet that a lot of people in the world are skeptical of disabled parents being competent parents. He doesn't have any idea of that yet. When he was 3 months old, I was watching a virtual panel of a group of disabled parents and a disabled lawyer talk about the experience of being a disabled parent in the world. And that was the first time that I learned that it is legal in almost 30 states in the United States for a disabled parent to lose custody of their child for no other reason than having a disability. No proof of neglect or abuse is necessary for that. And so I heard that, and I decided that my son and I would never leave the house again, be fine. We would just have a little island all to our own, and we'd hunker down, and that it didn't happen that way. It didn't work that way. I mean, besides the fact that we needed like food and stuff out in the world. Otto, my son, is, I didn't know that people became extroverts that early, but he was like, we are leaving the house. So we've had to go out in the world a lot. Inevitably, of course we have. And there is something so stressful about that experience for me. I carry the knowledge of those laws with me every single time we leave the house, every time we go to the doctor's office, every time we go to the playground and he makes another kid cry, every time we are on an airplane, right? And I mention the stress of that is not necessarily, it's not because I believe that my son is going to be taken away from me. I know I'm a good mom, and I know that there are countless people in my life that would testify to that. But I bring that up because disabled parents are navigating an already challenging experience of parenting in the world with a different set of rules. We are scrutinized differently. And the point, the real reason I bring that up and I want us to think about that together is because I believe storytelling matters. I believe the stories that we tell matter. When I talk about the lack of representation and I point to tropes, disabled character tropes, and look at oversimplified stories, I don't just bring that up because it's personally annoying to me, which it is. And I don't just bring that up because I think it's about time we had a disabled protagonist in a rom-com, which I also think we should have. But that's not the real point. The real point is that the stories we tell impact the world that we live in and the stories that we play out together in real life. When we're saturated in stories that only depict non-disabled parents, we are perpetuating a population of people who don't know how to imagine disabled parents as competent parents. And we take those stories with us onto the playground and into the doctor's office and into fertility clinics and adoption clinics, into courtrooms, right? Those stories follow us wherever we go. When the few stories that we have representing disability depict characters who would rather die than live in their disabled bodies, those stories follow us into hospitals and nursing homes. Those stories follow us into doctor's offices where doctors are having to decide prioritizing care based on quality of life, right? Those stories follow us. When we're depicted perpetually in stories as helpless or as non-sexual, those stories follow us onto dating apps and into bars and coffee shops and into job interviews. The stories that we tell, the stories we consume, and the stories that we celebrate matter.